Dr. Muñoz.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. You know, I believe in universal pre-K. I believe that we need to not just have for short term, but for the long term, supplemental wage programs for childcare workers in order to ensure that there are more people in that profession so they can support daycares across the state especially. I also think that when we think about early education, you know, we don't do enough to support students and identify needs early and to develop unique programs around those needs. And so when it comes to the education funding formula, I think it needs, yes, to the funding, but beyond that, I think it needs to be completely restructured. Right now, it's concentrating poverty. It's not equitable. So even if we made a constitutional change, which I agree with, I think, you know, the words are one thing, and actually implementing it with an education funding formula that's stronger, more equitable is another. So we need to increase the amount of dollars we're putting. I think a weighting system like Kansas is interesting because it allows us to consider multiple factors, not just whether someone has free or discounted lunch as being the indicator as to whether someone receives more funding. In the state, we love using words like equity, but you know, how are we implementing it? So if we're not radically changing the education funding formula, nothing that the Constitution says will really matter. So I think both of those things need to happen. And when we think about education, I also just want to finish up by saying, you know, we need a comprehensive after-school program throughout the state. Anything that the traditional school system cannot provide as a result of politics needs to be supplanted by an after-school program that will provide those students with additional resources. And there are countries like Israel that have implemented that over the past 30 years and seen extraordinary, you know, positive impacts. When it comes to Rhode Island Promise program, and I'm taking this question as far as I can on education, we need to expand it to non-traditional students and ensure that people that can only attend part-time can also attend. Those are single parents. Those are parents that also are parents of color. And that is how we get parents to ultimately get towards possibly employment that if with a supplemental wage program can provide them with a livable wage and have more time for students. We forget that teaching at home matters. And so if we're not supporting the parents, we're not supporting the students either. So we need to do all those things. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.